So I'd like to pose a question to everyone here. What is your life's biggest question? What is a question that keeps you at night, keeps you awake at night? And what is a question that bothers you all the time, keeps bugging you all the time? You can't seem to find any answers to it. I'd like to tell you a story of how that question has brought me along this journey of social entrepreneurship. And I think through this journey, you will see why I pose this question to all of you. In 2006, I was in northern Thailand. I was in Chiang Rai. I was staying with an Akha Hill tribe village. I was staying with a few people from the Akha Hill tribe. And the Akha people are subsistence farmers. They do farming, and they are basically a huge tribal people, numbering about 500,000 in Laos, Thailand, China, and Burma. So I was staying with this family. I was there for a volunteering project. I was staying with the family and this little girl. And it was in December. It was very cold, about 5 degrees Celsius. And every morning she would wake up, she would go to the fire with a little very cute puppy and sit down by the fire. So this happened for 3 weeks. I was observing her. And so I decided one day to just give her my pack of chips. I gave her a pack of chips, and she opened it up eagerly and then went munching the chips, and she was very excited. So this is her, looking at me with her innocent eyes, holding the pack of chips, and I was asking myself this question. How will people like me influence her? How will people like me from Singapore, from a totally different culture, from a totally different land, influence her? Will she grow up like a mom, to be a farmer? Or will she be disenchanted? Or will she be disenchanted with life, with her traditional roots, and eventually growing up to be something that's totally different, right? The resemblance is just coincidental, okay? Nothing I will plan for. Okay? And by the way, this is Lady Gaga. Okay, this is Lady Gaga. So I had this question, right? So the following year, I was in Laos. And in Laos, I did another volunteering project. And this time, our mission was to build a community library for thousands of people around the district. And this library is placed in a public school in Laos. And this is in the capital, Vientiane. So it's a very nice looking library. But what was more interesting was the statistics behind the library. Right? There were in total 6 teams from the universities, from polytechnics and the civic groups from Singapore. In total numbering about 90 volunteers. Spent about 50,000 to build the library, 100,000 to send volunteers from Singapore, 90 of them, to Laos. Spent on food, accommodation, and of course transport. Hundreds of books, even thousands, donated by the public, donated by the National Library Board, and of course, a lot of sweat and blood put over a period of 8 months. And what was even more interesting to me was that after a few months, after this project was completed, I went back on a backpacking trip to Laos. And I went back to the same place, and guess what? The management of the school changed, and the new principal, somehow or other, didn't like the library. Okay, and this, I don't know, for some reason. And therefore, the library was not used at all. Right? That very beautiful library wasn't used at all. So it became a very pretty little white elephant. And that really bugged me about that. That really, kept me up awake at night, asking what kind of social impact do I want? We had very good intentions, and I'm sure, if you look at charity today and the things that you volunteer for, you have very good intentions, but what is the outcome of it? What was the result of all your hard work, your money, your hard work and sweat? And that was a very big question to me. What kind of social impact do I want? The following year, I was in Stockholm for 1 year, and I was basically part of the NUS Overseas Colleges program. So I went to Stockholm, and that's when I first got to know about the word social entrepreneurship. And I thought, hey, I want to find out more about it. And what I did was I organized a small little conference together with a few friends, inviting social entrepreneurs who are doing amazing work in Africa to come down to Cottey Hall, which is the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm. And then we have a series of workshops working together with these social entrepreneurs. So at the end of the day, I was very inspired. And then I came back to Singapore, and again I went to the NUS Overseas Colleges. Right? They're one of the best programs I ever had, in NUS for that matter. And I went to them and said that, hey, I want I want to work for a social enterprise. I want to find out what is it like to work for a social enterprise. And I knew that there was opportunity in India because there was a program also in India in which interns were going to India working for this social enterprise. So I thought that, hey, there's an opportunity. Why not get a few students, a few NOC alumni to go to India to work for a social enterprise? So this is what we did. This was the very first day in India. We traveled 9 hours by car from Bangalore to some very rural area of India. And when I stepped out of the car, 20 Indian youths just rushed up to me and asked for my name, asked any questions that they had on their mind. It was so amazing. And what this social enterprise was doing was training people with no education, no education, to become data entry workers working in villages itself. So this is 6 a.m. in India. They're already out in the fields reading their English texts. Right? They're the most motivated people youth I ever met in my life. So it was a really amazing experience in India. And I came back and I had this question: how about adapting this model to Southeast Asia? How can I further improve or adapt it to certain Southeast Asian countries? So this was the question that brought me to an organization that me and other friends are starting up. So we are BagoSphere, and we are based in the Philippines in Western Visayas. This is near Cebu. And just to put it simply, what we do is to transform rural youth is just high school education, to become call center agents. But on one hand, the youth unemployment rate in the Philippines is very high, particularly in the rural areas. And on the other hand, there are jobs, right? It's not that there's no job in the Philippines, there's a lot of jobs, but the education system in the Philippines on the rural side doesn't really prepare youth for the jobs that are already in the market. So, in short, this is what we do. And the reason why do we do a social enterprise, right? Why? We could obviously do this on a very for-profit sense, right? You can make money out of it. Well, it's because of Confucius, right? 孔子说，君子喻于义，小人喻于利. Right? It means that Confucius said that the virtuous man is driven by responsibility, and the non-virtuous man is driven by profit. So underlying this virtue, with 2 other co-founders, Ivan and Alvin, we're all NUS alumni. We had 2 lovely interns in the summer this year, and 3 local teachers, and behind is our 14 students. They have already graduated, and I'm happy to say that 12 of them have already gotten a job at the call center. So this is our proof of concept, and I think we're on the right track. This is our training classroom. This is our training classroom. We got the computers from NUS also, donated secondhand. And recently we got a donation of 50 computers from the School of Computing for NUS. So NUS has really been a great help to us. This is our dormitory, our dining hall, where the students have their meals. Dormitory where the students sleep, and also where I sleep when I'm in the Philippines. Alright, this term I need to take some time to explain. I'm sure some of the Filipinos in the crowd will know what is bayanihan. Well, it's not a very difficult term that Singaporeans or other people would try to understand. It just means community spirit, or the Singaporeans will know this as kampong spirit, right? So what happens in the Philippines is that if you want to move your house, your neighbors will all come in and say that, yes, let's move your house. And they will just carry your house and just move it to another location where you want it to be, right? They're not stealing the house, okay? They're moving the house. So this is a core strength of Filipinos, right? It's a core strength that we want to play up to, which we BagoSphere want to play up to. And so when we design the curriculum, when we design the activities for our students, we want to incorporate, community spirit in the students. And so, empowering youth with skills in English, IT skills is something easy, can be done easily, right? But how do we enhance that sense of community leadership in them? Something that's very important to us. So out of the 1,000 youths, hopefully we want to empower 100 youths to become very strong alumni in the Philippines. And based on the 100 youths, we can do a lot of stuff, right? I think the future of Philippines, or the future of any country in particular, belongs to the youth of that particular country, right? our goal, BagoSphere, the 3 co-founders, Singaporean co-founders, our goal, mission is actually to become obsolete, right? Because when we become obsolete, we finally succeed. So this is where we want to start. We want to establish a Silicon Valley of social enterprises in Philippines, and the young people of the Philippines will take charge of that. So to cut the story short, you can go to the website for more, or drop me an email, or you can talk to me later. So the entire journey of what I just brought you through was based on a few questions. First was how will people like me influence a life, the one in Thailand? What kind of social impact do I want from Laos? How about adapting this model to Southeast Asia? That was one of the experience that I get from India. But all these questions had a source, had a single source. And my biggest question in life, right, what keeps me up awake at night is this question: what makes us happy? And it's a question of what makes you happy, what makes me happy. And I believe that when I ask this question to myself, I realize that when I help somebody, and the person becomes happy, I will become happy too. Right? And there was this kind of thought processes that turned around my head a lot of time, that I realized that, okay, maybe this is the path that I want to go. So my idea in this TEDx talk is one for you, right, in which what is your life's biggest question? I'm sure there is a question that you always have, right? Just that maybe you haven't really discovered yet. Your question, everybody's question is different, okay? And everybody's questions is also very important. Okay, you have to look inside. Your question could be, when is the next stock market crash? I know it's going to be soon, right? But when? Are we alone in the universe? What does 1 + 1 = 2? Is it 2? Is it a window? Any philosophy majors here? No? All right, the philosophy majors will just write an essay of 1 + 1 = 2. So just to end off this talk, I'm a fan of the Matrix, and I'm sure some of you are. And so for those who don't, so this is Morpheus, and Morpheus was trying to show Neo, which is a superhero of the movie, what is the real reality like? What's the real world like? So it said that you take a red pill, you will find out what is the real world. So my challenge to all of you here is, go back home before you sleep, look at your question, what is your life's biggest question, and I guarantee you that you will stay in Wonderland and you will find out how deep the rabbit hole goes. Thank you very much.